Please welcome to present our first award, the Haseotes Haseotes Service Award, Zacharie Haseotes Vinios.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here today to honor William and George Stoukides. William and George were born in Mikropapingo, Greece on August 13, 1913 and July 1st, 1916, respectively. As teenagers, they immigrated to the United States with their father, Zacharie Stoukides, leaving their mother and three siblings in Greece. William and George became naturalized U.S. citizens and would periodically visit Greece over the years. In 1942, William, at the age of 29, and George, at the age of 26, enlisted in the Army to fight for their new country. William served in the Asian Pacific Theater Campaign, specifically in Okinawa, while George served in the European Theater Campaign and was part of the D-Day Normandy invasion on June 4, 1944, and later serving in Germany. Both brothers were honorably discharged with the rank of sergeant and received numerous medals and ribbons for their gallant service. At the end of World War II, William returned to Greece to reunite with his wife Anastasia, née Ioannidis, who he married before the war, and 10-year-old daughter Octavia, who he hadn't met until then. William and Anastasia would go on to have three more daughters, Theodora Kapos, Thea Mancini, and Roxanne Gordon. Upon his return home, George married Helen, née Musas, who is here with us today, and became a father to Michael Stoukides, Catherine Christie, Mary McNulty, and Dr. John Stoukides. After the war, William and George owned and operated the Fairlawn Pastry Shop and Stoukides Realty in Rhode Island for nearly 40 years. Their life of service continued after the war as they supported causes that demonstrated their pride as Americans and as Greeks. Both brothers were active members of the Assumption of the Virgin Mary Greek Orthodox Church in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. William served on the Board of Trustees and Building Committee for the New Orthodox Church alongside his friend and my grandfather, Haseotes Haseotes. Additionally, he served as president of the American Legion, president of the Olympia Charter Order of the HEPA, and as commander of the Hellenic Post. William received the St. Andrew Medal for Meritorious Service and Clergy Laity Award from the Diocese of Boston for his commitment to his church and his community. Both brothers were members of the Palestine Shriner Temple and served as 32 Degrees Masons, with George being a grand patron alongside his wife Helen as a grand matron. George and William were members of the Jenks Lodge, the Scottish Rite, Queen Esther Chapter No. 2, Order of the Eastern Star, and the Swords of Bunker Hill. George passed away at the age of 72 in 1989, and William passed at the age of 95 in 2008. Both were blessed with many grandchildren and cherished the life they built in the United States while always honoring their country of birth. On a personal note, I'd like to add that I am proud to honor these two remarkable men who were dear friends and kumbadi of my grandparents, Vasilios and Aphrodite. The Stoukides and Haseotes families have been very fortunate to have such wonderful role models in this generation of men and women who taught us the value of family, friendship, hard work, and love of country. God bless America and Zito Ialas. And now, please welcome to receive the 2023 Haseotes Service Award on behalf of William and George Stoukides, my friend, Mr. William Kapos. Okay.
Thank
you.
you.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Zachary. Ambassador, fellow honorees, esteemed guests, I am deeply honored and humbled to accept this award on behalf of the William and George Stoukides families. As I embarked on the journey to trace the path of two teenage brothers, their enlisted service to their adopted country, and the remarkable lives they led, I have been deeply moved and inspired. I've been told that my father-in-law, Bill, seldom spoke of his experiences in World War II, and I've been told the same was true for George, which makes this conversation even more challenging. The question of how two teenage brothers from the remote village of Papingo, Greece, found themselves on the battlefields of Okinawa and Normandy, two of the most harrowing sites of World War II, both fighting for the United States of America, begs to be answered. Papingo, Greece, is now a sought-after tourist destination renowned for its hiking and mountain climbing. Nestled in the Pindus Mountains of northwest Greece, it's just an hour's drive to Albania. Today you can reach it with a 45-minute flight from Athens to Ioannina and a mere 45-minute drive to the village. However, in the 1920s, the journey from Papingo to Athens took many weeks, and the voyage to the United States took a month or more. Zacharie Stoukides, Bill and George's father, was a man of vision. Born in 1885, he embarked on a number of journeys to the United States, where he became an entrepreneur, establishing a number of businesses in the Boston and Providence, Rhode Island areas. During one of his trips, he decided to bring his eldest son, Vasilios, to the United States. And a number of years later, he took his son George to join his brother. Both brothers worked diligently in the businesses that their father had helped initiate. As the years passed, George and Bill embraced the United States as their own by becoming citizens as their father had before them. On a return trip to Papingo, Bill married my mother-in-law, Anastasia Ioannidis. Came back to America, worked long and hard in preparation for the reuniting of his wife and first daughter, Octavia. Unfortunately, World War II erupted and prolonged Bill's plans. Bill and George, as proud and honorable citizens of America, enlisted in the U.S. Army and dedicated 4 years of their lives demonstrating their unwavering commitment to the United States. It is worth noting, as Zacharie has said, that the Stoukides and Haseotes families formed a deep and lasting bond through the friendship of Haseotes Haseotes and Zacharie Stoukides, as both were from the same part of Greece, Epirus. Meeting in Rhode Island, their friendship flourished, and as typically happens with Greeks, they baptized children. In this case, Bill Stoukides baptized George Haseotes. George Stoukides baptized Byron Haseotes, and Zacharie Stoukides baptized Hado. These families spent countless hours together, nurturing a connection that endures to this day. We'd like to give them our sincere gratitude for bestowing the Haseotes Haseotes Service Award upon William and George Stoukides. We are also immensely thankful to the Washington Orchidea Foundation and the Monatos family for honoring the Stoukides brothers and for the profound message they convey in allowing the public to understand the role Greece played in bringing about the outcome of World War II. We congratulate the other honorees here this afternoon, as well as those we will see this evening, and we are honored to be amongst them. In closing, I'd like to read some excerpts from a letter sent by a family member in Greece upon the death of my father-in-law, Bill. I believe it speaks to both Bill and George Stoukides' legacy. A long and very rich life has ended into a big, beautiful, and happy family with a marvelous wife. With almost a century on his shoulders, passing between those enormous waves of a strange and different society as this of America, following, however, her laws with respect and wisdom distilled from his ancestry and from a small, faraway, rocky land. He stood, until his last day, the master and protector of his big family, earning the fame of his sons-in-laws and grandchildren. And even so far away from his country, with assuredly his wife's contribution, kept and imparted the Greekism, the Greek value, and popular soul. He was a very important and remarkable man, representing the success of Greek immigration history. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.